everyone. Today's lesson is, guess what? Telling time. You got it. We are doing time to the nearest 5 minutes, and then you'll have some practice in the lesson, and then a bonus clip that tells you the history of telling time. Hope you enjoy it and you learn a lot. Bye, guys. Today's lesson is telling time to the nearest 5 minutes. Count by fives around the clock. Notice where the numbers are placed. 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Notice when we get back up to the top at 60 minutes turns in to the next hour, so it would be back to 0 for o'clock. What? No numbers? Even without numbers, clocks and watches count by 5 minutes. Do you see the larger marks on the watch? Those show the hours, which also helps us do the minutes by fives. Each of the teeny tiny marks are the individual minutes, but that would be difficult to count each individual minute. So we use the big markers to help us by fives. Count to 60 by fives. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Now we're going to use that for the clock. Place the hands around the clock to count by fives. Now you will be saying them out loud, and then as I do them, see if you get the correct answer. What goes by the 1? Correct. 5 minutes. What goes by the 2 hour? Correct. 10 minutes. What goes by the 3? Correct. 15. The 4? 20. The 5? 25. The 6? 30. And also we can remember that when the minute hand is straight down, we're halfway around the clock, and that is 30 minutes. The 7 tells us what minutes? 35. The 8? 40. The 9? 45. The 10? 50. The 11? 55. The 12? 60? 12, is that 60 o'clock or 60 minutes for the time? Nope. So what goes there? Double zeros for o'clock, because we're back to the new hour. Which minute goes with which box around the clock? So for this one, I'm going to be saying the minutes, and you decide where would the big hand or the minute hand be lined up to show those minutes. The first one, double zeros, which is o'clock. Were you right? The double zeros are when the minute hand is pointed at the 12 because it's the new hour. 5 minutes after. Where would 5 minutes be shown on the clock? Were you right? Next one, 10 minutes on the clock or 10 minutes after. Were you right? Now for the remainder, I'm going to mix it up a little bit so that we're not just counting by fives around the edge of the clock this time. Where would 45 minutes be marked by the minute hand on the clock? 45. You ready? Were you right? If you need more time to count around the clock, you can always push pause until you're ready to check the answer with me. The next one, 25. Ready? 25, because if you count by fives, you would get to 25 minutes when the minute hand is on the 5. 30. Think about 30 with time. There it is. 30 is halfway around the clock, because 30 minutes is half an hour. So when the minute hand is pointed all the way down directly to the 6, we are at halfway around the clock, which is 30 minutes. 15. Where would 15 minutes be marked? Ready? 55. Ready? 40. Ready? There it is. Again, if I go too quickly for your think time, just push pause. That's the great thing about having video. Next one is 20 minutes. Where would 20 minutes be marked on the clock? There it is. When the big hand is pointed at the 4, the minutes are 20 minutes. 50. Where is 50? There we are. And last is 35. And of course we can tell. It goes right in that last box. But the shortcut for counting after 30 is if you memorize when it's at the 6, that's 30, you could start at 30 and count by fives. Instead of for 35 saying, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, you could already start by looking at the 6 and thinking 30 and then just go one more section, 35. What time is it? For each clock, think the time and then I will show it and you'll see if you match. So for the first box, read the clock. What time do you think it is? 12 o'clock. There are choices down below to help you. Second clock, 12:05. Third clock, 12:10. Are you catching a pattern here? Each time on the analog clock with the hands, the hand moves to the next hour slot, which is 5 more minutes. And the hour keeps staying 12 for now. Next one, 12:15. Next one, 12:20. The next one, 12:25. Next one, straight down to the 6 for the minutes. We're halfway around, so that is 12:30. Okay, next row. Read the clock and see what time you think it is. The answer is 12:35. The next one, 12:40. The next one, 12:45. Remember, if it ever goes faster than you're thinking, just push pause. Okay, the next one, 12:50. Next, 12:55. And the last one, by the pattern, it is 12:60. But wait a minute, 12:60 is not a real time. When it gets back to the 12, it's moved to the next hour. So this one is now 1 o'clock. And you can push pause, check the clocks over. Look at the pattern with the numbers there and get really familiar with how this works. You ready to move on? Great job. Now it's time to do a little game for practice. Are you ready to put your new skills to the test with this little game? Telling time to the 5 minutes. Here we go. What time is it? Carefully look for the shorthand for the hour and then remember how to read the minute hand that each space is 5 minutes. Ready? If you chose 9:05, summerific. Next one. What time is it? Both hands are pointing at the 2. Let's think about that. Are you ready? If you picked 2:10, you are amazing. Next question. What time is it? Are you ready? If you chose 4:20, you got it. Next question. What time is it? Ready? If you chose 8:25, way to catch a wave. Next question. What time is it? Be careful here. If you picked 10:30, you are right. Woohoo! Next question. What time is it? Watch out here. Remember, when it starts getting closer to the next hour, sometimes we get the hour wrong, so be careful. If you chose 1:35, way to go. If you are confused on that one, just rewind the video a little bit and look back at the clock and see why it's 1:35 and not 2:35. Next question. What time is it? Ready? If you chose 5:40, you are so bright. Next question. What time is it? If you chose 3:45, wow, right on. Next question. What time is it? Again, be careful. Watch those hands and think about what is happening. Are you ready? If you chose 6:50, you are crazy good. Again, look back. You might have thought 7:50, but the hour hand is almost on the 7 because 50 is almost going to the next hour. So it's almost 7, not 7:50. Next question. What time is it? Are you ready? If you chose 11:55, awesome sauce. That was another tricky one because it almost looks like it's 12:55, but 12:55 is almost 1 and it's nowhere near 1 o'clock on that clock. Next one. What time is it? Ready? If you chose 7, you are fabulous. Actually, I should have said 7 o'clock to be totally correct. Now, great practice. Stay tuned. We have a bonus video if you would like to learn about the history of time. Trouble with Time, written by Lynn Donn and illustrated by Philip Martin. In ancient times, people told time by the sun. When the sun was overhead, it was the middle of the day. Sundials were invented, but they were more fun than necessary, as anyone could look up and estimate the time of day by the position of the sun in the sky. Of course, every person saw a slightly different time depending on where they were standing. In the Middle Ages, mechanical clocks began to be used. Each town usually had one clock with a great big face so everyone could read it from a distance. The town clock was built in a special clock tower. The time on the town clock was set at noon when the sun was directly overhead. This system was called local time because everyone in town used the same time. It took some of the guesswork out of telling time. Every town had a slightly different time. When the railroads were built, people recognized a need for a more standard time system so that goods and passengers could arrive and depart on published schedules. Time zones were established around the world. These were big areas. In the continental United States, we have 4 time zones: Eastern, Central, Mountain, and Pacific. This system is called Standard Time. In the beginning, in the United States, the use of Standard Time was not a law. It was voluntary. Some towns, even some pretty big towns like Detroit, refused to use Standard Time. They preferred their town clock. In 1918, the U.S. government made the system of Standard Time in the time zones a law, but it's not the law all over the world. In some places, it's still voluntary, which can be somewhat confusing for travelers. To learn more about time, see these sites: A Walk Through Time, Daylight Savings Time, free PowerPoints about time, time games, free time clip art.